Hello guys, so I figured it is the right time to show you some progress update on the project I have been working on for the last 3 years, which is AnotherCraft. It's basically a Minecraft clone with some, I think, I like to believe interesting game mechanics possibly. Um, well, this will be a long video, it will be unedited, so it will be kind of messy, and I didn't really have a script prepared, so it will be messy 2 times basically because of 2 reasons. I will show the game, I will try to explain some game mechanics, I will try to explain some rendering mechanics and such, and just dump my mind to YouTube. So let's start. This is the login screen. The game used to be local only, but in the recent months I've been able to switch to a client server model, so I'm running a server here locally and I will be connecting to a server with this client. I've done a single playtest over internet so far with a few of my friends, and it's worked out quite well. So yeah. Well, and this is how the game looks when you log in. Standard voxel ground, voxel world with blocks and such. You can walk around, you can jump. You have player. We can switch to first person. And as in Minecraft, you can mine. You can pick up blocks. What's a bit different from Minecraft right now from this UI, you can see that the inventory system is a bit different. It is more like, if you know World of Warcraft, it's more like in that style than in Minecraft. You don't have a single inventory here. You have 5 slots here on the bottom right side. You have 5 slots for bags, and those bags then, when you put them into those slots, you can they are inventories, and you can put items in that. So basically, with this system, you can gradually improve your inventory, expand it. You can potentially create new types of bags that are larger. You can personalize them. You can have any color you want. Well, it's not currently implemented in the game, but it's what the system allows, what is possible to do with it. And you can have stuff like restricting bags to only some types of items. So for example, you can have a huge inventory, but that will only accept herbs and such. In terms of gameplay and content, the game is not really advanced that yet, because we have not yet reached an agreement on the concept of the game. So I have some ideas, I have number of mechanics that I've implemented, but the actual content and look and what exact blocks will be in the game, that's not specified yet. Okay, so you can mine and you can build. Building. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that this on the bottom here, this is not an inventory, that's a hotbar, and it's basically a collection of shortcuts. So say I can link this block to the stone block type, and I can do it even for the second slot, and it will work. It's just a shortcut. And there are 2 rows. The first row is for left hand, and the second row is for the right hand. And by rotating a mouse wheel, you change the selection. So basically, you have 10 presets of what you hold in your left and right hand. And you can use the left hand item using the left click, and the right hand item you can use by right click. So there's one mouse button for each item. So you can build, as I said, nothing very spectacular here. Just pop a block and up it goes. You can also build straight from inventory like this, which I think is cool when you have a lot of types of items and you want to just build one of a type. So yeah. Oh, you can also look around the the landscape. I think the visuals are quite good. I like them. Well, I hope you like them too. Currently, the day-night cycle is not synchronized with server, so I can just move this slider and change the daytime. I think that dawns and the sunsets look quite nice, especially when you can see how the sun falls. Yeah, like that. You can see we have some clouds, and now when I move to night, you can see that the colors are adjustable here. Those are gradients that define the colors of various aspects of the environment based on daytime. So say if I wanted to change the color of the sun to something like, I don't know, reddish more, I could. It's a bit overblown now, so don't mind, but I can also change, say sky color, anything I want. You can play around pretty much with a lot of stuff here. So let me revert to the default setting. Oh yeah, and that reminds me that I could also show you that you can basically define presets of these gradients, and then you can seamlessly transition between them. So this can be useful, for example, to have different environments in different biomes, or when you want to change weather. Or so, for example, I have a preset for rainy here that will change the color set and gradients and everything to rainy environment. And it will also start raining. Yeah, that brings me to another thing that is in the game, and that is the particle system. The particle system runs on the GPU, so everything is simulated on the GPU, and these are actually every raindrop is a particle that has collisions, that also is shaded. So let me just spawn a lamp here. And you can see that when near the lamp, the rain is colored, tinted to yellow, and outside it is just dark. So particles can be shaded, particles can have physics. Let me also show you. Don't mind that. My SSD is directly over the GPU. Yeah. So this is using the same particle system as the rain. Let me turn off the rain. And to demonstrate that the particles collide, I shall build some so like that. So those are particles. Now let's say something about the nature, the world again. We have implemented, designed basically a whole new system for the world gen. Not since the last update, but generally we have a system in place that is called AC World Gen, and the system is actually open source. So you can find it on GitHub, and basically you can download it. It runs as a standalone application, and you just pull block data out of it, and it generates a world. The world it generates is completely configurable. We have our own programming language called voxel. Let me show you some examples. Let me show you the world gen itself. overworld. Yeah, it looks like this. It's basically a functional programming language that everything you can see is described with. So this workgen currently has like 300 lines. That's not so much, and it did all this. It supports biomes, it supports Perlin noise, Voronoi noise, and what's also cool, it supports grammar-based generation. So you have the functional part, and also for structures that would be quite hard to describe using just functions, there is a whole subsystem that can be used to generate structures on basically by expanding grammar roles. So this is generated using the grammar system, and as you can see, there's plenty of randomly generated, well, let's call it dungeons around the world. The grammar-based system also supports importing voxel files. So these dungeons are made from prefabricates that are the hub, which is this thing here. Then we have stairs, we have straight and turn halls, and there's also a few things for buildings. And so you can make the prefabricates using tools like Magica Voxel. The system supports .vox file extension, file format. You can import it into the language using a structure like this, and then you can use it to generate worlds like this. Okay. Next thing, lightning system. So what you can see that we have some shadow mapping, but this is only cast from sun, so nothing else casts shadows but sun, and everything else uses a system. Well, sun also uses this system, but it uses it together with the shadow mapping. Everything else uses a standard system. Well, not as standard, but a system similar to Minecraft itself, where you have light sources that propagate light on a voxel grid, and yeah. The difference here is that in AnotherCraft the system supports RGB lighting, so you can have any color, any light color you want. So let me show you. Give me I'll now add myself this lamp that is red. I'll add myself some lever. I'll connect. Yeah, like this. And let me put the lamp a little bit further. So yeah, so we have lighting system. By the way, the lighting system is also computed fully on the GPU, which means it's quite fast. It works well together with the particles. Everything can be shaded. It works quite well. And yeah, this is the system. This is the system. So what should I show you next? Okay, well, since we have the lever here and the the lamp, let me show you the Bastrix subsystem, which is basically an alternative to Minecraft Redstone. Now I wanted to go through a little bit different way because the Redstone system is a bit annoying, that the wires are visible, it's a bit clunky, and you need a lot of space to do anything, and it is hard to hide. I personally prefer, you know, sleek, elegant designs that are hard to make with Redstone, because you can have a small room that's elegant, but you have to have a whole bunch of supporting technical rooms around to make it happen. So I went a different way, which is that you can run wires. You have wires, something similar to Redstone, but you can run them in existing blocks. So let me toggle to hold the wire. It enables Bastrix Vision, which allows me to see wires inside things, and you can see that we have wires running through blocks here. So when you don't want to see them, it's completely hidden. It can run in your home as normal, but it's there and it works. You can also run multiple, let me see, item wire logic. You can also run multiple wires inside the same block. The token is making this. So like this, there are of course limits of how many wires you can run it like this, but yeah. And also we have logical gates. So this is, for example, an AND gate. So let me adjust the circuit. I will now make it so that the lamp connects to the output of this logical gate, and then I will make the one lever as one input of the gate, and another lever that I will create I'll make another input. So now, in order to turn the lamp on, both levers have to be on. And if any of them is false, the opposite is false. And that's not it. That's not the whole thing. There's more about the system. The cool thing is that the system is not limited to logical Boolean only. So in future, well, I have some proof of concept, but it's not worth showing really. In the future, you could have like electrical wires running through the same blocks as logical wires, and have an electrical system that basically works in a similar manner, has a similar interface, but offers a lot of functionality. So I think with this system you get a lot of bang for the buck. And also, let me show you this. Oh, okay, I have to find what's the block called. Piping, yeah. If you want to show the blocks, the Bastrix wires off, you can use this piping block. Okay. and you can run wires through the piping like this, and they will be visible even when you don't have a Matrix vision. So there's that. I'm quite proud of this system. I think it has potential, and it should be possible to mod it. So there's that. Oh yeah, and about the content, basically all the content you can see, all the block types, all the entities and such, are defined in YAML files. So we have a bunch of YAML files that define blocks, and the blocks are defined, and everything is defined from components basically. So we have a bunch of components that alter the behavior of the block, and you can put the components together and create a lot of things what you want. So say the cross shape for desert turf or grass turf means that the block has a shape like this, the X shape, but you can have a standard shape like this, which is a block shape. You can have lamp shapes. You can even import object files to so you can design them in Blender and such, and import them in and have that. Or, and which is also cool, you can use OpenJSCat to define block shapes. So let me show you this block. Model. Let me show you, for example. Let me show you roof. I wanted to show, yes, roof. Let me show you roof. So in JSCat, I have defined, and this is handy because Minecraft usually is the graphical style is more about uniform, non-organic, simple shapes, and for that, Blender is sometimes not the best tool when you want to have precision and geometry. So, but using a CAD system is a good way to define it. So, for example, these lines of code define these 3 shapes, and what's also cool, in CAD you can make it parametric, and the parametricity is transitive to the game as well. In YAML files, let me find out where roof is. Yeah, so we have the cornering model shapes and the file, the JS file, and the AnotherCraft actually automatically compiles it and imports it. So you can just straight up link the JS file and it will work, and then you define textures and how it should be projected. You can see that there are no textures in CAD, so you have to define them separately, but that's possibly a good thing because you can use the same model and have multiple variations of textures with it. But yeah, in this code I could also define parameters that wouldn't then be passed to the CAD. So for example, I could make a parameter to change the roof width. I could link this out, and I could define it here in the YAML files. And after that, I can get myself some roof, and I can build it like this. So that's about the models. And what about the player? Well, player was done in Blender. You can see it was a lot of work. I actually this is actually a model downloaded from internet. I just gave it some texture, and but the interesting part here is the animations, because the animations are basically procedural, as you can see. the character reacts quite well. And this is done basically in code. Let me open up Blender to show you what was done in Blender. So yeah, in Blender we have the model. Don't worry, this is not the final one. We will eventually have it replaced by our own design. But in Blender you define the character, you defined a bone rake, and then you define some basic poses like airborne, run, a single pose, swing, a single pose, or two poses for swing, and there's some swimming and such. And this basically follows. This was inspired by a video made by someone else. Let me try to find it. Oh. Nope, sorry. I will have to find it. I'll probably have to find it afterwards. I don't remember. Yeah, this is no, this is not it. Oh, never mind. Let's not get stuck on that. So basically, you have poses, and then you used to use a graph editor. Graph editor where you define how the poses should mix depending on time, the aim position and such. But it turned out to be quite a mess when the animation got more complex. So I switched to a language based approach. So you have in programming language you have code, and these 95 lines are basically this graph, but the code makes it more readable. Oh, and then that brings me to the code part. So for creating content, you mostly use the YAML files that allow you to use to combine the components that are defined in the game, to add behavior, to set up collision mechanics, to set up how the block looks like, textures and such. But also we have a modding up API in the game that's not currently really developed that much, but there's a proof of concept, and it's possible to make at least something with it. And the modding API runs basically on the WebAssembly virtual machine. So in theory, you can use you could use any language that supports compiling to WebAssembly to make mods. Currently, the selection is unfortunately quite limited because the support is not that good for languages for WebAssembly right now. But for now, we are supporting the assembly script programming language, which is the only usable thing we have found so far. So there is an API defined in a limited API, but API nonetheless defined in WebAssembly. Sorry, in assembly script. So let me show you. I don't know, block. Yeah, it's quite basic right now, but it's connected to the game, and some things are actually done through the API. For example, this AND gate, the processing of the AND logic. Let me show it. Yeah, here, this is inline assembly script code. Sorry. Yeah. And what's also implemented, what's also done through assembly script is trees growing. This is also, I think, a rather interesting mechanic. Let me give myself some sapling. So yeah, we have trees, and we have trees that grow. As you can see, the tree trunk doesn't have a fixed size like in Minecraft, but we have small branches and varying thicknesses. Also different from Minecraft, that you fall through leaves. Ow! You get slowed down when you get stuck in leaves. Well, not in falling, but generally in moving. Give me. This will be better seen with spruce. So when you try to walk through leaves, you get slowed down, but you can fall through, and you also walk through branches up to a certain size. So this is too big. I will go with this. Yeah, I've just got stuck. But that's, and I think this is better because in Minecraft it felt a bit ridiculous when you could just hop from tree crown to tree crown, and basically forest, you would walk through forest on the top of the trees. So this would not be case in AnotherCraft. We will have proper forests here, I hope. Yep, and also I wanted to make the game a bit more RPG-like, so there would be, well, it's AnotherCraft is a bit of a mix, basically, you could say, between Minecraft and World of Warcraft, but mostly on the Minecraft side. But you would have stats like this and levels, and there would be more attention to the RPG part. That also reminds me, items, working with items. We want to have for each item to be at least somewhat unique. Not doesn't have to be really unique, but to each item to be different. So the ideas, for example, when you mine dirt, each dirt would have a different, let's say, quality or some property like that. So you would work, and this would be transitive to the whole inventory system and an item system. In crafting, the result, say the quality of a pickaxe would depend on the quality of the items that you use to craft the pickaxe and such. And actually, you would be able to, if you know Tinker's Construct mods, you would be able to construct pickaxes from various materials and combine them however you would want. So there would be a lot of space to experiment, to optimize, and to improve. And because but still we have there is this contrast that we have a lot of items and each is different, but yet you want to be able to work with them in bulk. You don't want to move each dirt block between inventories. That would be annoying. But yet we like the World of Warcraft / Minecraft style of inventory, where you have physical slots and you have stacks of items and maximum stack of items in one slot and such, because I felt that this style of inventory is easy to work with. Is you can organize it mentally because you control where each item is, so you can remember where you put it. It's easy to oversee all the items at once and such. So I've come up with a system where you have stacks, but at the same time you would be able to control and manipulate each item in the stack individually if we want to. So I have a stack and I can move it as a stack here, but if I want to, I can right click it. And well, currently all the grass blocks are same, but if they weren't, you could say, you could see different properties here. You can select each block specifically, and now I've selected 2, so I have taken 2 blocks and I can move them around. So basically, by default, if you don't need to, you work with stacks as in Minecraft, but if you want to separate out, for example, really rare properties or an item with rare properties or something, you would be able to. And in the future, there will be filtering mechanics, so you can sort the items by various properties. You can search through them and such. So this is the idea. And also, if you consider the shortcut system, you can notice that when I say take one block away and put it somewhere else, it still shows 3 here, because the shortcuts work over the entire inventory. So say I would have a lot of grass, say 2 stacks and some, but the shortcut shows me the total number, and I can work with them all here. So yeah, I think that's a neat thing too. What about NPCs? Well, NPCs were not a focus for now, so there's not that much to show, but I can show you this lame fox NPC that basically does nothing, is barely animated but moves around, and when you shoot it, it dies and spawns some loot. Yeah. As for the RPG style, we also have stuff like status effects and such. This is a bit similar to League of Legends, I would say, or it was inspired a bit by it. So there is that. And well, do I have anything else to show you? Oh yeah, the sounds and caves could be also kind of nice. So let me try to find some cave. I will just put another token. This only gives me no gravity, but I have a no clip token as well. And when I hold it, I can walk through blocks. So here you can see that we have some cave systems. Let's enter this one. Oh, come on. And what I want to show you in this cave system is that we have a cool thing in our sound system made so that the sounds change how they sound. Oh, that sounded bad. Well, basically the reverb and such changes based on the environment. So now I'm surrounded by stone, and I'm in a cave, and you can hear that there's some echo to the sounds. But when I go outside, and I want to mine some stone, it sounds a bit different. So there's also that to show. Oh yeah, and about the trees, of course, we have proper tree destruction. You don't have to mine it block by block, but you just mine the tree as well. Now let me take a magnet and suck those items up. Yeah, so we have some basic shooting as well. And you can also notice the particles that are basically used on more places. We have some running particles, we have some mining particles. All this is using the particle system. Okay, let me see if I have something else to show you. Yeah, I could show you. You could show you crafting. Yeah, I could. Yes, and rendering optimizations. This is also a cool thing. I think you can see that the visual distance we can see is quite big, and the game is running quite nice. Let me try trying out vertical scenes. Yeah, so I have a 2080 Ti graphical card, and this is a 1440p monitor. I have multi-sampling set to 2. Yeah, and I'm able to run the game at around 100 FPS on this view distance on 48 chunks, and chunk size is the same as in Minecraft. However, what is different with chunks here is that the chunks, each chunk can start at a different height, and that allows us to basically make big mountains, because in Minecraft our chunks starts at the same height, and so you have only a certain vertical limit from the lowest point to the highest point, and if you want to also have caves and some underground systems, you are quite limited. But here, if the slope is not that steep, we can afford to make pretty high mountains and make the world seem more dynamic. Of course, under the mountains there is not such deep underground as there would be under the flatlands, but that's just the price. That's not that high of a price. And for the game to be able to run this fast, we've had to make some optimizations, of course. So we use quite a lot of greedy meshing, but as you can see, we are not limited to the voxel shapes. So the greedy meshing is done in quite a rather interesting way that allows it to be utilized by voxel shaped blocks, or block shaped blocks, but you can still use different shapes. You can still use models and such all in the same time, and all it works together. And to demonstrate the greedy meshing, let me show you this. Yeah, so whatever you see is in the same, has the same border. This is rendered as a single quad, as two triangles. So we have say using this we can save quite a lot of triangle draws, because we are aggregating it into larger chunks. And also we only render what is really necessary, so we only render the blocks that are on the edge, or the sides. And these optimizations are calculated on the GPU as well, so it's able to make them quite fast. Also, besides of the aggregation, we have some culling optimizations. So we have, of course, frustum culling. So only the area that is actually in the camera is visible, is rendered. Let me show you the frustums. Yeah, like this. And also we have occlusion culling, which is hard to show because it works on the screen space. But basically, what it does that whatever is occluded. So for example, when I'm now looking on these blocks, anything behind these blocks further should not be rendered. You can read about it on NVIDIA has written quite a nice article about it. Oh yeah, and also this reminds me, the lighting system. The cool thing about the lighting system is that as an emergent behavior, it has this ambient occlusion, these darker corners inside, these darker areas in corners. This is not a special effect. This is actually what happens naturally because of how the lighting system is implemented. Okay, let me see if I have something else to show you. I think I mentioned one extra thing. Yeah, I haven't shown you crafting yet. So the crafting is also in the phase of proof of concept because we don't have content set up yet. But basically, I did not like. Well, the Minecraft style of crafting has its advantages, but I felt it was rather limiting. So I've rather opted for a system that is again similar to the World of Warcraft. So basically, you have a recipe book, you select a recipe, and let me take crafting table. I think it should have more receipts. Yeah, so you basically have a crafting table or crafting environment. You select the recipe, you put inputs here, and I think this is broken. This should work automatically. Never mind it. I will note it. So the system works like this. Well, I think that's basically everything interesting or worth mentioning. So let me just give you a fly through the world a bit so we can see how it looks like, and then I will say goodbye. Thanks for watching. I can see it has been 47 minutes, which is quite a long time. So yeah, so let's not overdo it. What I'm also proud of is the appearing animation. Yeah, so we have some mountains, we have some flatlands. Okay, time to finish. Goodbye.